Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laurence and I post art videos once every 2 weeks. I try. I have a plan that I want to test out today, and this plan is related to the fact that I'm going back up north very soon, in about a month, and my plan is to start a new series, but I want to do a change. So since it's going to be winter landscapes, I want to change the color palette, and I would like to experiment with a new medium, which is gouache. I have only used the Himimiya gouache palette, which is very fun, but not the best quality. And when I go there, I want to have good quality paints and good quality paper, just in case I decide to sell them or do an exhibition, or I don't know. But I just want to make sure that my artwork's quality is good enough for any usage. So I already selected some Arches watercolor paper that I cut in smaller sizes. I think I cut them in 8 by 10 inches. Now I just want to do a quick test to decide if I like gouache, first of all, and if I would prefer acrylic gouache or normal gouache. My hypothesis right now is that it's better for me to use normal gouache because I would like to make a palette, and I can't do that with acrylic gouache obviously because it's gonna dry and never reactivate. I want to make a palette for a few reasons. First of all, because it's more compact, it's easier to travel with, it's better I think for me, and also I'm not sure about bringing some tubes like this in the plane. I think it would be best to avoid it. I know it can be done, but I would prefer not having to worry about any tubes exploding if I can. So I'm 90% sure I'm gonna go with gouache, but I still want to test the both mediums out, so gouache and acrylic gouache, and decide if I prefer one or the other, and then go from there. So it's gonna inform my decision. What I wanted to do was to buy the same two colors in gouache and in acrylic gouache, do the same landscape, the same painting with them, and decide if there's one that I like better than the other. The only problem is that I wasn't able to find the same two colors. So first I went to my local art store and I bought some Winsor and Newton designers gouache in the color indigo and ultramarine. I thought that these were basic colors that I might find anywhere, so I thought this is a safe bet. And then I went to another store to get the acrylic gouache. I found the ultramarine, but I didn't find the indigo. They didn't have it. So I got another color, another blue, a paler blue this time. I got, well, it's pale lavender, so it's technically not blue. I thought might as well get two different colors then if I can't do my original plan. I have some titanium white already. It's a gouache from M-Gram, and I think that I could use maybe either an acrylic ink or a fluid acrylic white color to go with these. So that's it. That's what we're gonna do. A little landscape, nothing too complicated because the goal is just to do a test. I selected a landscape already. I did a sketch on 2 pieces of paper, and we'll just go from there. The colors won't be the same unfortunately, but it's not gonna be detrimental to our plan. It would just have been nice. Oh wow. So let's start working. I think I'm gonna start with the gouache, and then we're gonna try the acrylic gouache, which is something that I've never tried before. But I've used acrylics in the past, so I figure it's gonna be pretty much the same. So let's start with the gouache. Okay, so I did the sketch with this pencil, a slight ultramarine by Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer, so it's a watercolor pencil. I have a simple sketch, so I think that I should start with the lightest colors. I think it's always a safe bet. So since I only have indigo and ultramarine, we're gonna be quite limited in our color palette. Well, I also have the white. We're just gonna do our best and see where we go. Okay, so I'm going to start with the widest areas. I mixed some titanium white with some ultramarine. My brush was pretty loaded, so I have a lot of paint on there. And then I have the other side of that little river, or yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna start adding some shadows here and there, just so I get a better sense of the shape of this landscape. I'm working quite small, so I have to be a bit more precise than what I'm used to, but I think it's gonna be fine for this test. I think I'm gonna get a smaller brush because it's getting difficult. Oh, this is so fun. Right now I'm adding some different shades of snow just so it looks a bit more realistic. I'm not aiming for super realistic, but you know, just enough. And I like that you can go back and kind of fix some of your mistakes. It's very fun. Okay, now I think I'm gonna go with the darkest shade, which is going to be the indigo. This is going to be the trees and the water. I really like how matte this is. This is very fun to use. Okay, now let's do some trees. I think I should start with some lighter colors though for some of these trees. I could do the trees in the background, but then for these ones I'm just gonna add some lighter colors before I commit to anything. I didn't do the sky. Oh wow, I forgot. Okay, I have to do that now. Now I have to be super careful because I forgot to do the sky. I should have done it first and then did the trees on top, but I just forgot. And I know that some people do the sky second, or they don't really care about the order, and it gives a really interesting effect. I think it's something that Sandy Hester does a lot, and I really like her skies and yeah, the effect that it gives, but it's just not what I wanted to do today. It's still gonna be okay. Oh, whoa, something happened there too. Well, I think if I just add some water, then I can get rid of that little spot. And yes, I don't think I could have done that with my acrylic gouache. Maybe if it was still pretty wet, I could have, but for sure it's something that I can, it's an advantage of the gouache. You know, I can rework it, I can re-wet it, reactivate it, and that's not something I can do with the acrylic gouache. Once it's dry, it's dry. I could have painted on top though to fix it. So now I think I'm just gonna add some darker branches. Okay, so I think that's it for it. We're gonna get ready to work on the acrylic gouache one. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the lightest shade again, using the lilac and some white. Okay, now I'm gonna introduce some areas with a bit more shadows. Okay, and while I'm here, I'm going to do the sky. Okay, so I'm gonna go with a bit of a darker color. that was fun. I really liked both paintings. I thought gouache was really easy to work with because it feels like watercolors, which I'm very used to. Acrylic gouache was good also. I like the texture, a bit thicker paints, and I love the colors that I chose. I think this color palette is way more me than this one, so I would have to try to find these colors if I were to go with gouache, which I think is what I'm gonna end up doing just because it's gonna be simpler for me to travel with. But the acrylic gouache was so fun. So yeah, that's it. Advice and tips in the comments please, and I will see you again in 2 weeks. Take care.
Your heart, keep it in your pocket for safekeeping. Don't ever let nobody be the reason you throw it out, you stop caring about it. Don't let your head